So Mindy, I was in town, and I had a surprise visit from a friend who I asked to come see you.
Okay.
So I want you to dig back into the vault, and if you think of hot chocolate, the name of your restaurant, but I want you to apply it to one of our oldest and dearest friends. Who is Hot Chocolate?
Oh my God.
He's here.
He's here.
Where are you?
Oh my God. I
am here.
It's Marcellas. Hi. So good to see you. I love it.
A million
It's been
years.
like 8 years, right?
Easily.
Yes.
Easily.
I love it. And I love that you're here right now because you are a perfect example of my memories of my working up the ladder. Can I tell a story?
Tell the story.
Can I tell a story?
Absolutely.
So when I was interviewing with Michael for the job at Marche, Marcellas was working that day, and we were sitting at a table, and he looked at Marcellas, and he goes, Marcellas, come over here. He goes, I want you to tell Mindy how you describe desserts. I want you to sell desserts to Mindy. And I totally remember that. And he said that you were the best server who described desserts like the best, because you like them.
I like desserts. God knows I like desserts. You can tell that by the size of my ever-expanding butt.
No.
But also, I think I was a very good waiter because I realized that part of the experience is the in-course.
Yes.
And it's about getting more money out of the client. So it's like, you didn't do your
So was it more about customer service, or was it more about getting money?
Well, it was
Be
part
honest.
of an experience, but if I could pad my check by selling desserts and getting a dessert wine on the
Right.
table or selling a cheese plate, then by all means I was going to do that. And in a restaurant like Marche or a restaurant like MK, Michael Cornick expects you to do that. You know, it's
Totally.
not just about come in, have
And
an
take your
entree and
order.
get the hell out. It's
Right.
about,
The
let's
experience.
start with the cocktail, let's get a great appetizer on the table,
Totally.
let's do a middle course, cleanse the palate, let's get, the right blend of entrees on the table, and let's,
So
you know.
how did your career as a server, and a distinguished server, help you morph into the on-air personality that you've become?
I always say, in all honesty, that if I hadn't come through, much like you did, Chicago, and start working in these sort of hip places, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Right.
I definitely wouldn't be where I am today for the single fact that I was waiting tables at Marche, and Marie Anderson, who at the time owned an agency named Aria, discovered me. And I was working my way through school slowly as a theater major, but Marie was there with 3 women, her partner in Aria, Mary Bonchar, and a woman that owned an agency in St. Louis, and they were like, you should model. And I was like, whatever, the salmon is wonderful tonight. Let me get you started with a glass of champagne, like I was doing this. And they were like, no, really, you should model. And then from that, they were serious. And so their agency was walking distance to Marche, and I would go to castings.
Is that why you were late regularly?
Yes. I would go to castings, and I would go or work in Chicago and run around, and then I would have my night job at Marche. And it was,
And I loved working with you.
I loved working with both of you.
Yeah.
And
Tell us why.
this is why. I think the thing about working in a really good restaurant and a really hip restaurant, because there's a difference between being a hip restaurant and not being very good
Right.
as far as the food and the service. But Marche and MK and some of the restaurants I worked in Chicago, because I came through Vivo, I worked at RL, I worked at Cafe Absinthe.
Right.
The restaurants that really get that whole thing right, the hipness, the quality of the food, the quality of the service, the vibe of the restaurant, those are the restaurants that you sort of want to be at. And those are the restaurants that you sort of want to hone your craft at. And those are the restaurants where the public wants to go to. So working at a restaurant like Marche, you never knew who you would meet. I meet Marie Anderson, the woman who discovered Cindy Crawford. She says, you should model.
Right.
You know what I mean? The Pritzkers, Oprah. I met Oprah. I've got a meeting with Oprah tomorrow, and I met Oprah working at Marche. You never know who you're going to meet at these restaurants.
Right.
And those people aren't going to just any restaurant. They expect the theater. They expect the service, the theater, the food, the wine, everything, and they expect it to be on point. And working for what I found really interesting about working at Marche and at Vivo, you have this front door, and there's so much drama at the front door with the people trying to get a table and with the people that you hire to work there. Some very pretty girls and guys worked at these restaurants. And what Michael and you as a manager and you as a pastry chef were able to do was sort of blend all of our personalities together, give us the format to flourish, allow us to be ourselves, allow me to come in late, you know, and come in with the drama and, oh my God, I just worked for blah, 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 and now I'm here and I'm so sorry. But, you know, and not, you know, sort of penalize us for it and feel like we were safe to be ourselves, know that we, you know, provide us with an incredible environment to learn, to flourish, to be ourselves. You know, I think you know, I'm a little black boy from the south side of Chicago. I didn't come out until I started working in restaurants. I don't think I came out until I started working at Vivo, maybe before when I bartended at Shelter, which was a Jerry Kleiner restaurant, which was a Jerry Kleiner bar.
Sure.
So it's about when you've got like a person like Michael Cornick who like is like Mindy's going to be a great example or a great inclusion into the game, and Tom is going to be great to run my business because he knows how to get the best out of the most difficult people.
Sure.
You get the best out of everything.
Well, I understood early on that if I could gain the trust of the most difficult ones, the rest of you would fall into line. And you know, Marcellas always had that huge personality, but really took care of people beautifully.
Totally.
But it was so much fun to me to have that working experience with you. But it's been infinitely more satisfying to see you thrive in what you always wanted to do. And I think that's, you know, it's a testimony to your fortitude that when a lot of people told you you're not that good and you're not going to make it, and you never backed off. Right? You always knew you were that beautiful and you were going to make it.
It's not our beauty. But you always tell this story, like, I guess there's a story that Tom tells about, like, I didn't want to do side work one day, or I was doing side work, and I look at him and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be famous one day, so I don't really need to be doing
And it wasn't one day he told me that, it was he regularly told me that. And I said, that's true, but today you're not famous, so you will do the side work.
It's awesome.
Well,
But I was not doing it really. I was tongue in cheek when I was saying that.
absolutely. Well, it's been great to reunite together.
Yes.
It's a very, you know, powerful homecoming for me to be back in Chicago. A surprise to see you, but thanks for joining us today. And
Thank you for
we had a
having
lot of great fun over the
It was
years, and
cute.
I look forward to more happy days as we go forward.
Absolutely.
Thanks very much.